Hi, my name is LK Way. I am the wellness writer for the True Age Now blog, as well as the wellness coach for my own personal wellness brand, Well House. And today I want to talk to you about having headaches because of a distressed nervous system. I am someone that had a distressed nervous system for quite a while. When I had a distressed nervous system, I had it for a very long time because I didn't even know that's what I was dealing with. I had numerous emergency room visits. I had lots of blood work done. I had my lungs scanned. I had lots of medication that I was prescribed, but I did not take the medication because once I found out it wouldn't help my symptoms, I didn't take it. I'm not telling you to do that. That was just the case for me. And long story short, headaches was one of the symptoms that I had, and I got rid of the headaches that I had. And I want to talk to you about how you can get rid of your headaches as well. Now, one thing I definitely want to emphasize is that I'm not a doctor, so the information that I give you is not to be used to replace a doctor's advice or as doctor's advice. The point of a wellness coach, or my goal as a wellness coach, is to help you with your wellness journey. And as I said before, I went to the doctor. I had a lot of work done. I had many visits to my PCP. I had a lot of blood tests I took to find out what indeed was my problem. And it was stress. It was a distressed nervous system, which one of the diagnoses was anxiety. I actually got anxiety because I had so many symptoms in my body that I was like actually scared of the symptoms, headaches being one of them. So let's talk about what you can do if you have headaches because of stress, or what are commonly referred to as tension headaches. Now, in this video, I will talk about what to do about the tension headaches, but I need to also address some lifestyle changes that need to be made. We have a society of pill popping, and so we kind of like the instant gratification, but what I'm going to tell you is not instant gratification. Some of it, well, one of the things I'm going to tell you will bring kind of immediate temporary relief, but the goal of what I'm telling you is to help you in the long run, because these are the things that I did to help me for the long run. So why do you have tension headaches to begin with? If you have tension headaches, it's because you have tension stored in your body. You have stress stored in your body because your nervous system is not working properly. It's overrun. In your autonomic nervous system, that's the part of your nervous system that has the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. These two parts of the nervous system are in charge of keeping something called homeostasis, right? You have the sympathetic nervous system that is in charge, like the fight or flight. You have the parasympathetic nervous system that ushers you into a state of rest. So the sympathetic system is in charge of fight or flight. The parasympathetic system helps you to transition out of an emergency into a state of rest. In the event that you have a very stressful life, you have communicated to your body that it's in a stressful situation, and you kind of stay stuck on. So that parasympathetic part of your nervous system that's supposed to help you rest is not able to stimulate you, or transition you rather, into a state of rest. So you have to manually stimulate it because it's not stimulating on its own. It's not working on its own. How do you do that? You do that by deep breathing. Deep breathing is something that is severely overrated. It is severely overrated and just dangerously overlooked. Deep breathing is something that will heal your body and help your body on a cellular level. Your cells rejuvenate and restore themselves, and the deep breathing plays a very crucial part in that. When you deep breathe, when you take a deep breath in through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and you feel your diaphragm rise, you are manually stimulating your parasympathetic system, and your muscles are relaxing. Remember, your brain is a muscle. So as your muscles relax, you feel your body release the tension. You feel your body release the stress. So you will feel alleviation of that tension that you're keeping, whether it be here or here or here, is typically where you feel those headaches. Or for some of you, it may be a little bit lower, like down here, right? You want to have a regimen of this. So this is something that you need to do throughout the day. That's deep breathing. I did it 4 to 5 times throughout the day. I did it for about 10 to 15 minutes. Yes, 10 to 15 minutes. Now you may have to do it in the morning before work. On one of your breaks, do it. And then after work, and then before you go to bed. So you just spread it out. I would not advise only doing it when you have a headache, because again, you're stimulating a part of your body to work manually that should be working on its own. So you don't want to, you want to stimulate it to work. So it's kind of like physical therapy, where you're helping that part of your nervous system get back to helping you be able to rest and not have so much tension or stress stored in your body. So you do it 4 to 5 times a day, 10 to 15 minutes. You manually stimulate that part of your nervous system to help you relieve tension and stress that is stored in your body. In your case, your head, or your, right here, or wherever you have it. Typically it's right here. I did a lot of thinking, so I would have headaches come right here, right here, right here, right here, and sometimes right here. Another thing that you want to do is you want to ground. Grounding is something that, and I gotta admit, I kind of looked at it this way too when I first heard it. I did hear about it and I'm like, how effective can that possibly be? You just walking around barefoot. But there's actually a reason, a science behind why it works. And just very briefly, without getting into the whole different, electronic atmosphere of the earth, basically the negative electrons in the earth, when they touch the soles of your feet, they transfer to your body. And when that happens, when that transfer happens, it reduces inflammation, and that negative charge that balances out, or actually rids it. It actually conflicts with the charge of free radicals. Free radicals in your body, you can basically look at them as like gunk and junk that you don't want in your body. And when you're grounding, the electrons of the earth, when they meet the soles of your feet, they are in a sense balancing you out and helping combat the free radicals that are in your body. The first time I did grounding, I actually felt immediate relief. I was not expecting to. I didn't even do it on purpose. I was just outside and I just took my shoes off to take them off, and I began to walk around. I'm like, whoa, why does this feel so good? I actually asked myself that. I'm like, this feels really good. And so I ground to this day still. I still ground. And so what that does is it actually does help relieve your body of tension, of inflammation, of stress. Another thing that you can do is meditation. Now, I have some instructions with the meditation because there are different types of meditation. And the way that you meditate, if you have intense headaches, is very important. You do not need to engage in a very engaging meditation. What does that mean? That means if it's a meditation that has a lot of steps, you need to stay away from that. You need to do gentle meditations that do not have a lot of steps. So these type of meditations are meditations that have few instructions, but they allow you to more so rest on the tranquil music or sounds in the meditation. So for example, it would be something like this. It would say, you're on the beach in a hammock, feel the breeze. That's it. And you would feel the breeze, and in the background, you would probably hear wind or the ocean for about 10 minutes. And then it would say something like, oh, the wind is so gentle, enjoy the breeze. And then you'd hear like a wind sound. These are gentle meditations that aren't overstimulating you too much. And they're ushering your mind into a state of tranquility. Remember, stress gets to your body through your mind. So whenever you're engaged in a stressful situation, it gets to your body because of what you're thinking, how you're perceiving something. And then if your body ends up being overstressed, it's because you've had a habit of that. You've had a habit of that. And this is something that you do every day. And even when you're not in a distress system, because your body is just used to the stress, and your nervous system is actually made to deal with stress. But as that stress gets compounded and compiled and compiled and compiled, it's just trying to work through that. It's just trying to work through that, but you're dumping more and more stress on it, and it's trying to work through that. So eventually it's just like, and you have a headache that you can't seem to get rid of. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to keep a calm mental state. If you find that hard to do, then meditation is something that can help you do that. And you can do the gentle meditations a couple times throughout the day as well, because you can start to create an atmosphere of peace within your own mind, and your body will follow. That's the psychology behind that. And that's also the science behind it as well. Another thing that you can do is, and this is something that really is more like a surface relief, so it's more superficial than dealing with kind of like the root of stimulating that part of your nervous system that helps with stress. But you can do gentle massaging. This will stimulate the blood flow, which will also alleviate pressure, but it alleviates pressure superficially. So typically, I've done this. It will help me in the moment, but then the headache or the tension would come back shortly thereafter. So the massaging is something you can do. It is something that helps, but I definitely recommend the deep breathing. I'd recommend the meditation. I recommend the grounding. These are things that I did, and I did them on a continuous basis. The changes that I noticed in my body, because I had a lot of other different symptoms. So I noticed many of the other symptoms I had went away. I had a more tranquil atmosphere within my body. I didn't have headaches. And sometimes I would just tell my headache to go away in the name of Jesus. On my channel, I deal with spirit, body, and mind. So I can't leave that aspect out, as I can't leave that out. So there are times when I feel a headache coming and I say, in the name of Jesus, go. And it goes. I have experienced that numerous times. But sometimes there are some things that we can do that are very practical. And I believe in addressing all those things. So I do. So yes, I've done that. And I've also done the practical things as well. So let's talk about lifestyle changes. One of the things that is very vital, and I shouldn't even say one of the things. This is probably like, it's very important, okay? You need to have a lifestyle where you're not having a cycle of creating a distressed atmosphere within your body. So the things that I said today, especially the deep breathing, if I could pick two that I would just recommend you do, I would pick deep breathing. Gosh, it's so hard to just pick two. But if I had to pick two, I really say do all of them. Do the grounding, do the meditation, do the deep breathing, massage if you have to, when you're somewhere about to do something really quick, you need that, more faster relief. At that point, you might as well just take a Tylenol, But if I could pick two that I would recommend you do every single day, deep breathing is definitely one. And then I would recommend the grounding. I would recommend the grounding and the deep breathing, because these are things that really, I'm sorry, I forgot one of the things that really helped me. One of the things that also really, really helped me was doing mindless activities. Mindless activities helped me so much because it allowed my brain, while it's still functioning, to that muscle to rest. And so I would color. Some of the things that you can do, you can knit, you can draw, you can plant. Planting is so awesome. You just feel that dirt in your hands. Oh my goodness. And you're just planting. Even playing with Play-Doh was something that was very, that's where they get that stress ball idea from. Because when you're rubbing the dirt, and you're not rubbing the dirt, but you know what I'm saying, you're planting, you're feeling the dirt in your hands. That is very pleasing feeling. So these are things that are not too stimulating, but that you can do, that are peaceful engagements that you can engage in peacefully, cognitively. And this is important. You should do that. So even though you're still kind of utilizing that muscle, you're not overstimulating. That is something that I did to really help me. Now, I had a lot of different other symptoms. Anxiety was one, because I got so afraid of some of the symptoms that I had. They made me very nervous, because I'm like, what is that? So just a side note, I forgot to mention that before. But back to what I was saying, the two things that I would definitely make a lifestyle of would be deep breathing and grounding. Grounding is something that I felt the results automatically. I felt it immediately. It was one of the things I did besides deep breathing. Deep breathing I actually felt immediately too. Because when I first did, I'm like, oh, this feels so good. Like I feel so free. I feel so light. And grounding had a very similar effect too. So I would recommend every day doing your deep breathing, make a schedule of it. Grounding, make a schedule of it. And you're going to see a difference in your body, not just with your, headaches, but also with your body in general. All right. So this is pretty much it for this video. If you found this information helpful, please like my video and share, subscribe. And again, that's pretty much it. My name's LK Way, and I'm wishing you an awesome day. Take care.